And we're live once again. Wow, it's been a crazy day today, let me tell you. But before I get into that, I'm going to say hello to everybody. And let's see here. Get right up to the top. Yeah, who got the cookie? Well, it looks like GRE 2057 was the first one in here today. And he got the cookie. So congrats and good to see you here, GRE, and yeah, enjoy that cookie. John Nippenberg was the second one in. He asked, what did I win? He got the half cookie. So, John, enjoy that half cookie. And we're glad to see you here. Hot Dog Pilot Andy was the third one in here, and well, he got crumbs again. Anyway, good to see you here, Andy. Let's see here. We got 32 minutes to go. I already got that. Schuylkill River Valley. John, how's it going? Good to see you. Gerald Stewart, good to see you too. Glad you're here. And let's see who else we got. Thomas Grassi. Tom, I tried to call you earlier, but it went right to voicemail, and your voicemail is full. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, so I couldn't leave a message. Let's see who else we got here. Oh yeah, that Tom from Tom's Trains and Things brought that up yesterday on his live stream. That on the phone, the YouTube took off the comments tab and changed it out to something else. I don't remember what it was. Well, you know, it's YouTube, so they can go either way they want. Dundas Junction Model Railroad. James, how you doing? Good to see you. And who else we got here? Chuck Schreiber. Hey, Chuck. Good to see you, Chuck. Glad you're here. Let's see, who else? Darren Hamill. Hey, Darren. I think you're a first timer, aren't you? Well, welcome to the show, and good to see you here. Let's see, I got a damn ant running around. Ah, get that motherfucker. Got him. Damn ants. Let's see who else we got here now. John. Hanfield Road Layout. Hey, Lee, how's it going? Good to see you. He says, Jim, just calling to leave a like and have a great stream. To see you all on the next one. All right, cool. Well, thanks for popping in, Lee. And well, maybe you get bored, you can watch the replay at another time. Anyway, have a good weekend, man. We'll see you next week. And that's everybody. So, that was easy, right? Oh, look, I didn't kill that ant altogether. Now he did. Them damn carpenter ants. I got a few of them running around. I'm going to have to throw a bug bomb in here, I think. I don't know why all of a sudden they came in. It could be all the rain we've been getting. Anyway, let's see. What have I been doing? Well, today I did a Thanksgiving Day dinner, but not for like in the house. It was for an event that my wife and my mother-in-law go to several times a week for free lunches and breakfast and stuff, and you know, things to do for older people. So we were invited to Thanksgiving dinner, so we went and did that. It wasn't bad. There was probably over 100 people there. I don't bring my phone anywhere I go, so I couldn't shoot any video of it, and it would have been kind of pointless anyway. But we had a little bit of free food and had some fun, and then I got back here, and oh, actually, I take that back. After that, my mother-in-law wanted to go to the what the hell is called? Damn it, Habitat for Humanity, the thrift shop. We have one. It was pretty close by where we were at, so I said, sure, why not? So, of course, while I was in there, I bought a few things. Nothing train-worthy, but I did find some LED light bulbs that were brand new, still in the box, and relatively inexpensive, so I got that, and I think that was the only thing I bought. I bought some clothing and some knickknacks and stuff. I didn't see any train-related there, so we had to kind of not go there. Uh, Lee says, I will watch the replay tomorrow when it at the 4x4 or something, 4 bench. That's cool. Hey, Curly Express, Dwight, how's it going? Good to see you here. And Gerald Stewart said lots and lots of old people. Yes, there were. There were lots and lots of old people. I mean, there was a couple young people there. The cops were there, too. It was kind of a tribute to them, too. And plus, they were actually serving us the food. Imagine that, huh? You don't see that every day. Cops up here, though, are kind of cool, so. But, yeah, we had fun anyway. So then from there, came home, had dinner. Well, a few hours later. And here I am. So, and Lee says, I watch the replay tomorrow when at the bench working on a build. Big thumbs up. Well, thank you there, Lee. I appreciate that. And Dwight says, tuna dog with teeth. Tuna dog tacos with teeth. There we go. I think that's that a hot dog? Yeah, it's a hot dog. Never mind. I don't always see those things too easy. So anyway, I did do a little bit this week. You know, I'm still working on these damn garbage trucks. And they've really been a real cluster, you know what, sort of. This one here, I'm halfway through it. And the blue is because we have a different, we don't have waste management here in Sebring. We have something connections, garbage connections or something, or waste connections. I got the decals for it, I just haven't seen them in a while. So they have a blue back with a white cab, so I still got to paint tires and all the details and stuff, but this thing actually came out, and that way you can see the details on there. Not bad. But I think it's a little, it even has an interior in it. But I think it's a little large. So I scaled it down, and I came up with this one. And I think this one is too small. So when I put them side by side, see the difference? So I decided to go halfway down, split the middle. So I haven't started printing it yet. I'll probably print it tonight, and it'll be finished tomorrow because it's almost a 5-hour print. And of course, another thing is the front loaders are for the dumpsters. Now this was purchased. I didn't print this. I don't remember where the hell I got it from, but this is supposed to be an HO scale dumpster. And so is this one, which was also, well, I got this one from China. This is also supposed to be HO. Can you tell the difference? I mean, the red one's used. Damn it, huge. So once again, I knocked I think I knocked a millimeter off of this one to match the truck. Because really, basically, well, this one doesn't have this particular one doesn't have the things on the side, but see how it almost fits in between the thing there? So, like I said, this truck is a little too big for now. The small one fits in between the other one. Now, I don't think either one of them are true HO scale. It's hard to tell. So it's the same problem with this truck here. This is the older style one. And I wish I had better light on this here. There you go. This one I think is too small too. So I'm going to resize this one as well. So the one I've got on the thumb drive that I'm going to print tonight, I think that's going to be the proper size, and all my trucks from there will be printed in that size, and I think that's going to be closest to 187 HO scale. I hope. Hey, Mom and Son Train Rail fans. Tammy and Ray, how y'all doing? So, is that O scale? No, that's not O scale. O scale would be about like this. I mean, this isn't even S scale. This is just like an oversized HO. It's probably close to S scale, but an O scale would probably be about this much longer, that much taller, and right about that wide. Now, one of y'all wanted, I think it was Al, ELW Trades. He wanted to know if I could make one an O scale. He's supposed to email me some dimensions for O scale, and I told him I would print it, but I've got to have the dimensions, and he hasn't done that yet. However, he did send me some stickers, and I got them courtesy of Tom's Trades and Things. Tom saw him up at the last trade show last week, and this is he gave me 2 of them. One is already up on the sticker wall, so thank you, ELW. Hey, Chasco, Chuck, how you doing? Good to see you here. And Thomas Trains. Hey, Thomas. So like I said, I could print just about anything, but the problem I have is I'm not sure the proper dimensions. Now, I know O scale is 1/50th, but I don't know what the hell 1/50th is in millimeters or inches. So, you know. Hey, here's a good one here. Dwight said he's been trying. Get over here. I've been trying to print a tow truck. I have printed it 4 times now, trying to get the right. That's what I'm saying. It's very hard to get the scale correct. You know. Hey, Carolina Foothills Railroad. How you doing, Carolina? Good to see you. That's the problem I have, is getting things scaled right. I mean, like these here. These cement mixers, these ones here are too small. Now, the ones I was making were probably the right size. Maybe they were a hair bit large. So I have to find a happy medium. And unfortunately, I waste a lot of resin trying to get these sizes right. But I have been lucky enough. For you guys that have resin printers, go on Amazon.com and pick up this Ace Additive. This is $11.99 for this. Damn cheap. It's water washable, so it's the good stuff. You know, if you don't want to use the alcohol to clean up your stuff. And I think I've already purchased 4 of these. I've got another one coming. I bought 3 initially, and I got another one coming. So I don't know how long they're going to be that cheap. It's kind of a sale item, but the way I go through this resin, that's kind of a smart move. Spike Man, that's funny. Now I already told you, Thomas, I'm not making you anything until you keep your name for 1 year. So that means this time next year, if you still have Thomas Trains, I'll make you one. I'll turn the bottle so you can see it. Here. Ace Additive, water washable pro photopolymer resin. This is white. They do have other colors. 1,000 grams or 1 kilogram. Here's the backside of it here. That's basic stuff. I'd never heard of this before, and I bought it because it was so cheap. And I says, you know, I bought one. I figured if it don't work, I'm out $12. But it works just as well as the expensive stuff. And like I said, you know, here's a model. And it came out really nice. Good detail and all. So, As long as it's cheap, I'll keep buying it, you know. Because the other stuff I was buying, the name brand, either Anycubic or Creality, you're looking at $20 to $30, depending upon, you know, how they feel that day. So, I mean, you got to take what you can get and save money where you can. I have not seen a clear, Gerald, but or let's see, what did I got a different brand for clear. Okay, I got the water wash, um, the Anycubic water wash for the clear. It wasn't too bad. It was on sale too. I think it was $18.99 for a kilogram, which I feel, you know, it's under $20. It's not too much of a problem. You'd have to double check on Amazon to see if they have clear the Ace Additive. I know they've got gray, they've got white, they've got black. I think they've got red. And I'm not sure how many other colors they have, so. Yeah, if you guys have been noticed, we're having the same problem that Tom from Tom's Trains and Things had on YouTube. We're getting a chat disconnected error, and then it like reconnects like a second later. Now what the hell's going on there? Thomas says, I sent you money for cleared. You know, you did? It was $30. Well, if you send me the, yeah, I guess I can do it then, you know. Oh, you want to try it for a wood finish? You mean pouring it over wood and then do what? Hit it with a blue light? Hey, Trade Man 1, Mickey, how's it going? Good to see you. And Todd Armstrong, how you doing, Todd? Good to see you too. Yeah, if you already sent me money for it, I mean, I won't take your money and not give you anything in return, but all I can do with that clear is make a clear resin spike. That's all I can do with it. I mean, I can't make a golden one. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, I know. I already made you clear railroad spikes. That's why I don't know why you'd want another one. Mason Dixon Railroad, how you doing? Good to see you here. Blocking model railroaders, huh? Tom's Trains and Things yesterday. What? How did he put it? What the flock am I doing now? Something like that, because he's doing, you know, scenery. It was funny. No, I shot at a million moms. They get pissed off about that shit. Yeah, because it's suggestive. A bunch of boneheads is what they are. I have not sent you money this time. Okay. Now, I'm confused, Thomas. I don't know what you're trying to get at here, but I know you sent me money last time, and I made you the spike, and that kind of paid for it, and, you know, that was the deal. Didn't I make you 2 spikes, I think? All right, so anyway, that's what I've been doing as far as printing out. I downloaded some new files for the dumpsters. And even though they say HO on them, they seemed a little large. So I scaled them. I got 3 different sizes on the printer now. Matter of fact, they just finished. I'm not going to take them out right now, but I'm trying to get the size right for the new garbage truck. That's actually, it's 90% of this one here. So it's going to be 10% smaller. And I think I'm going to just stick with that and leave that as my HO scale. And if anybody's interested in the file or buying them, let me know. File is free. If you want me to print one for you, it's $8 plus shipping per unit. Hey, Russ is rocking O and HO trains and stuff. Hey, Russ, how's it going? Miss anybody else in there? No. Okay. Thomas says, for Christmas, Jim, I will send you $50 If you can make me a certain train I want, it will be clear blue for CSX. Uh, Send me a picture if you want. Just remember, I'm restricted by size, so I can't make anything huge because I don't have room in there to do it. As a matter of fact, you might even want to talk to Tom Grassi. He has a bigger printer than I do, and he could print a bigger one. And he might be more interested in doing that job than probably I would be. It all depends. Like I said, if you're happy with the size I made you last time, I can do it. But if you want it bigger, can't do. That's when you need to get a hold of Thomas Grassi, and he can do it for you. Let's see what else we got. A lot of hell. Hey, DWM Trains, Dave. How you doing, Dave? Good to see you. This is HO scale. See, I can't really do it in HO scale. My printer isn't big enough to pull it off. This is as big as I can go on anything. This is a bus. And I don't have an engine here, but yeah, I do. Yeah, it falls about 30 millimeters shorter than even a small locomotive. Now, if you got a steamer or something, this would only be half of it. So I can't do it any bigger than this. So yeah, I'm limited to what the printer will allow me to print. So like I said, you might want to check with Tom Grassi. He has a big printer, a 6K, and I think he could do HO with no problem. Yeah, there's no way I could do an ET44 on that. ET44 is about this big. Or, well, there you go. Let me go get my other one. This is an ES44 in HO scale. In comparison with the bus, it's just over half of, almost twice the size. So, like I said, there's just no way that I could print HO scale on that. So, sorry about that. What else we got going? And that was all I did as far as printing goes. I still haven't had a chance to work on my layout. I got to get that corner solved. And I really haven't had a chance or an opportunity to do anything with it. This week I'm thinking maybe. I don't think I have anything important I got to do for the rest of next week. Which will be a good thing. So I might be able to get something done in there, because lately I said I've been running around doing this, doing that. Going to dinners, and I just can't get in here long enough to get anything accomplished. It's rough. Yeah, Tom Grassi is in here, or at least he was, Thomas. So anyway, that's what I got going on. And I think the only thing I got left to 3D print while I said I'm going to get these, if I get these dumpsters sorted out, I'll probably print a couple of dozen of those when I get the size right. And then once I get the size right on these garbage trucks, I got to print the clear windshields for them. So, like I said, this is the old stuff. Matter of fact, James Galton, this is yours right here. I got to get it packed up here, and I put an interior for it, and I actually painted it, so you don't have to fool with it. I mean, it comes off. The whole wheel assembly comes off, most supposed to anyway. Well, there you go. So when you go to paint the wheels and stuff, it'll be easy. This is already glued in place, the interior. You could paint the truck separately. And really, these fit in here so well that you don't even have to glue it in. You can leave it, where you can just pop it on and off. So if later on you want to put a figure in there, you can, you know. Uh, but this is all I got. All I do is wrap this up, put it in the box with the propane trailer. I'll invoice you, and once we get that all sorted out, I could ship it out. So ELW Trades. I was just talking about you was showing off your sticker, and Tom brought to me yesterday, and the other one's up on the sticker wall already. I thank you much for that. You gotta get me the dimensions for the O scale garbage truck, because obviously it's gonna be a lot bigger than this. Because otherwise, I really don't know what size to make the O scale. So anytime you get a chance, they don't have to be perfect, just something close, and I can figure out the rest. Hopefully next week. So that's what I got looking ahead with the printer. I don't know. I don't really need to print anything just yet for my layout. Like I said, these garbage trucks, I'm going to put the front loaders. I'm going to make two of them for myself, my layout. One will be up on the second level. One will be on the first level. And then the old style trucks like this one, I'll probably have I'm not even sure if I'm even going to make any of these for myself. But now what I did do, I bought a side loading garbage truck, the one that pulls up the little regular trash cans. I got it on eBay. It's being shipped to me now. I don't know when. I think I'll get it next week sometime. I got a good deal on it. It was a make offer deal, and I don't know if you guys are aware, but if you make an offer now on anything on eBay, if the offer is accepted, they automatically take your money out of your PayPal account, and you bought it. But you don't. It used to be where you can still back out of it even if they accepted the bid, or the make offer, but not anymore. So it's kind of a big pain in the ass. Tom Grassy asked, what size garbage truck? I think it's a small one here. So like I said, if you don't, if it needs to be bigger, I think it's too small. You let me know. And I already. Wait a minute. No, I think I sent you. No, I sent that to Dave. I'll send you the new one tonight. That's in between those two. I'm calling it the 90%er. So I'll send that out to you after the show tonight. Russ says your vehicles are very well. They're getting better. Like I said, I had to really play around with supports and stuff. They can be difficult to make, and I found out that they're very fragile, even, really until you cure them. And even then, like now, you'll notice on this one here, the small one, there's flaps in the back, but one broke off, so it's only half a flap. But come on, guys, how many times have you been behind a truck on the road and part of the flap was missing behind the tire? So this looks more real than not, And of course, it printed the front flaps with no problem. You can't see them there too well. There you go. So the details are really good. Same thing with the back bumper. The first one I printed didn't have a back bumper because it came off with the supports. So now that I know what to look for, I can be very careful when I take the supports off, and all this stuff survives pretty well. So and the same thing happened with the flat back on this one too. Yeah, see, one's broke, one's full, but the back bumper's intact. The front flaps, I don't know how well you could see them, they're both intact. And even the flaps behind the front tires are there as well. So like I said, I had to figure out how to put the supports in to where I could, because if you let them, I use lychee slicer, and by the way, that is the proper pronouncement for it. Hey, Grandpa Rails, how you doing, JD? Good to see you. Um, it'll put you can automatically put supports in it, and it puts more than you can use, and it makes it very difficult to separate from the model later on. So I figured out, now I kind of know where they need to go and where the weak points are to not put them, but still get a good model, but not break things trying to get the supports off. I mean, there's a lot of supports on this thing when it first comes out, and the more supports, the more bullshit you're gonna have to deal with to get it apart. So, wait a minute. So there, Tom Grassi says, Jim, sounds good. I tried printing the one on my K last night. I guess that's your 6K, right? No, yeah, 6K. And it failed because my flex plate came off the build plate in the middle of the print. Those are great, but they do come apart. Yeah, that's what happened with the one I had on the Creality. I bought one for that, and it just started peeling off outside. Finally just said to hell with it. And I didn't buy one for the Anycubic for that reason. What they need to do is make a build plate that's magnetic, and then your flex plate can just snap right onto that. You don't have to worry about the magnetic cushion between it coming apart. I'm sure eventually somebody will do it, but until they do, it's really not worth the aggravation. It locked up on me again and jumped way in. Hey, Derek Alexander. Hey, Derek, how's it going? Good to see you here. We got a pretty good grouping tonight, I'll tell you what. And Thomas wants to know, Jim, can you print me a Casey Jr. circus train? Send me a file. I'll probably, if I can fit it on the build plate, absolutely. But I wouldn't know where to look for it, so you'll have to send me an actual file, an STL file. Says it's small. Okay, well, oops, wrong one. That's good. Smaller the better. Russ says I use a credit card for my make offers on eBay. I lowball my offers. Most I don't get, but occasionally I get a bite and a great deal. Yeah, like I said, but now what they do is they take your money if it's approved. You can't back out of it like you used to be able to, like, because I've had sometimes where they take 3 or 4 days to accept or reject my offer. Well, by that time I found another deal, so I just went and bought it. So when they finally accept my offer, 4 days too late, reject. They don't let you do that anymore. They just take your damn money. So I mean, I'm okay with it because it's a nice garbage truck, but I wasn't aware that they changed the rules until that happened. But one of these days I'm going to get a scanner, and I will scan that, and then I can start printing them out. Because I'd like to have a few of them, obviously, but I bought the one I bought was used, and I'll have to repaint it because it's in the wrong colors, but it's not a big deal. But new, they're around $50 some for the 187 scale ones. It's like, that's ridiculous, I don't care if they're metal or not. It's just, that's what I'm saying. They're getting so crazy with prices on things, and it's like, how much do they think we're willing to spend on this stuff? I mean, I saw, well, I don't have it here now, but it was a Trump garbage truck similar to what I made, right? Except it was a die cast, but it was on eBay for sale for $114, 187 scale. And I'm thinking, holy shit, that's nuts. I mean, I figure they might be worth something one day, but I don't think they'll really ever be worth that much. Let's see here. Andy said, the sand shift around us. Yeah, they do. Well, that's what I'm saying. Prices are getting a little crazy. I don't know if they're going to come down or not. I was talking to Tom Kvichak, Tom's Trains and Things earlier today. Like I said, I saw him at the Habitat for Humanity when I was there, and actually as we were getting ready to leave, he just pulled in. So I said, I got to go yak with Tom. But we were talking about Trump and stuff, and how a lot of people were saying that if he puts tariffs on China, it's going to raise the prices. And he said, well, Biden never released the tariffs we already had on China. So unless Trump increases the tariff, which he probably wouldn't, I wouldn't see why he would, the prices are going to stay the same. So we're not going to see an increase of prices, on that. So we'll see. I don't know where the hell he'd send it. What I do? Send it to the White House? I'd have to wait till he is, inaugurated. I guess I could send it to his house in Mar-a-Lago. I don't know. I probably should though. That's not a bad idea. I should really, go all out and deck one out real nice for him and send it to him as a gift. I mean, it couldn't hurt, right? Oh, thank you, JD. It counts 25-15. That means somebody ain't hitting the thumbs up. And you know what that means, don't you? Somebody in the chat's going to come after you. Well, usually, what's his face down there in Australia? I can't think of his name now. He'd come after you, but he's not been on lately. If they could, they would try to impeach you. Yeah, they probably would. They're already starting a bunch of shit with him, but that's the way it goes. Andy says, glad you reminded me, gotta put the garbage out, be right back. Yeah, ours goes out too because they pick up tomorrow here in Sebring, so it is what it is. Like a good soda. So I was going to try and put a decal on this bus that I printed. I can't really find anything that'll work. So I'm thinking I'm probably just going to shit can this thing and be done with it. It was a good idea, but it probably would have been better if it had windows in it. I could have made an interior for it and just, gave it a basic paint job, maybe a 2 or 3 tone. But without the windows in it anywhere, it's kind of useless. That's unfortunately some of the problems with some of the 3D files that are around out there. I mean, well, even this garbage truck, I put windows in it. It didn't have them. It was all solid. I put the side windows in and the windshield. It didn't have it, and I'm thinking, well, why in the hell would you do that? So then, of course, I printed an interior for it, but the interior is integrated into it. It's probably going to be a real motherfucker to paint. But, that's what has to be done. And, all right, there we go. Russ says, sometimes I forget until the end to push the like button. Yeah, it happens. There's Tom's Trains and Things. See, I was talking about you. And there he is. Good to see you here, Tom. Onion bid on InfoWars without the necessary funds, so the sale was put on hold for now. I saw there was a YouTube video on it earlier. I didn't watch it. I didn't have time. But that doesn't surprise me, They said Alex Jones has already set up a new website and everything, and a new studio. So, and I'd still like to see him as press secretary in the White House. They said that they might do it just for, even a week or two, just to piss off everybody. I'd love to see it. John says they won't try to impeach Trump with the Republican Senate and House. Or if they do, it won't go anywhere like Bill Clinton. Yeah, that's true. You still got to worry about the rhinos, though. I'm sure there's still a few of them in there, Gerald says, Jim, draw a sticker in MS Paint for the buses. Yeah, I probably could. That's a lot of work, though. I'll think about that, though. That's a good idea. I really didn't think about it. I was hoping to find maybe a picture of each side of a bus like that, and just make a decal of it and go from there. But I haven't been able to find anything. Jim, you can 3D print a train whistle. You mean like an actual one, or one of those wooden ones like I got over here somewhere that you blow into? I don't know. I gotta be honest with you, Thomas. I don't mind making prints sometimes, but I kind of really do insist on getting paid for them. And I also have to remember that I have a layout I got to work on too. So I don't want to spend my every waking moment making prints, especially for free. Because they do cost me money to make as well. Tom Grass says, Jim, make that bus a Charlie Daniels tour bus. That would be cool if I could find the decals for it, I don't know what the hell this is. Where's my moderators out there? I need to get him off of there, maybe. It looks like something. That's better than a train or railroad spike. Yeah, maybe. And Tom says Alex Jones was live in the new studio within 30 minutes of InfoWars being shut down. Yeah, I'm not surprised, He's a resilient guy, and they think they can put him down and shut him up, but they really can't, Short of putting a bullet in his head, he'll keep on going. Yeah, Russ, he actually is, but 90% of what he talks about is actually true. I used to think he was just a conspiracy theorist, but a lot of his weird ideas turned out to be the truth. So, I don't know where he gets his info from, but he's getting it from somewhere. Russ said that was a troll. Yeah, probably. Whoever deleted that thing, Tom Grassi. Thank you, Tom. Got rid of that clown, right? Yeah, it's probably the anti-Trumpers are trying to, piss me off, We'll fix him. We'll throw a bunch of garbage on his slate, right? Joe Rader says, "Hey Joe, how's it going? Good to see you, Black Rock Central." He says, "I made a Sparky Tours decal for my bus." That would be cool too. You have a copy of it? Yeah, send me a picture of it. I can, I can make decals. That's not a problem. And Thomas says, "I'm a Trump fan." I hope so. Otherwise, you'd be on the wrong channel. And Trackside Mike. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Good to see you. All right, John. Thanks for popping in, man. Have a good weekend and good night, and we'll see you next week, man. Bye for now. This thing lock on me again? I don't know what the hell's wrong with this thing. Why it does that? Thank you, Gerald, for getting that clown off of there. He's obviously a troll. You might want to. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can ban him completely, can't you? If you can, go ahead and do it next time he throws anything in there. Jim, can I have your wooden train whistle? Yeah, actually you can, because it's just taking up space. I don't know where the hell that thing is. It's here somewhere. They don't know where. I see it. Yeah, my stepdaughter gave this to me. She thought it'd be cool, but realistically, I have no use for it. It works. You gotta have a set of lungs to really make it work right, but it does work. I'll send it to you. Uh, don't ask me for anything else for the rest of the year. Let's see here. Hey, Ken Amos Jr. How you doing, Ken? Good to see you here. It's been a long time. So, like I said, I got a whole bunch of stuff here I still got to do. I'm really far behind. No, there was no rant yet, Mike. I don't even know what the hell to rant about right now. Actually, there's so many things I could rant about that probably bore you all to death with it. Polarin Electronic Army. Hey, how you doing? Reported cause you're the trolls get group. Oh, come on. All right, get rid of him too. Yeah, I've never had so many trolls on my show before. Can I rant about the trolls? that might just bring in more of them. Thank you, Gerald. Appreciate that. Tom Grace says Jim found tons of images online for Charlie Daniels' tour bus. They had many. You can pick the one you might like. Oh, cool. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, yeah, see, this is what happens when you're pro-Trump. You get all the morons come out of the woodwork, you know. and the foolish part is don't they know you can delete them or ban them or, you know, just get them off of your thing? I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, let's face it, they are Democrats, right? Not too bright. So anyway, I've got a ton of stuff I got to do here. I want to start working on the 66 Mustang too. There's a couple of things I still need to get. I need to get a tack cloth to clean up the body before I paint it. And I don't think I'm going to clear coat it, but I think I will buff it. You know, use a buffing compound on it. I built the model a long time ago. It was a Firebird. And I think it was 1/8 scale, maybe. I think it was huge. It was like this, you know. And I used car paint on it. Actual car enamel. I had to use a regular primer on there that wouldn't melt the plastic. And of course, the car enamel didn't hurt the primer or the plastic. So I was able to put that on there, buffed it out. And I mean, that thing, and I waxed it afterwards. I mean, that thing was like glass. You could see your face in the paint, you know. So I kind of like to do the same thing with the Mustang. I said I already have the blue for it. This is oh, what color is this? Arctic Metallic Blue. This shit was $12, man. So when I get around to it, like I said, I want to do that. I got a ton of things I got to do. I bought a starter for my Ford Ranger. I got to get that in there. You know, I just recently did the oil change in my Grand Marquis, and that was a major job. So, you know. What are we doing here? I miss a whole bunch of stuff or what? What happened there? Hey, hot dog pound, friends of the billionaire. Who's friends of the billionaire? Not me. Trump now, we need Perrier and Trudeau out. Trudeau's on his way out anyway, Mike, I believe. I've heard rumors that they're going to try and get him out of there because he made a mess out of Canada. Now he's sucking up to Trump. I love it, you know, and I know Trump ain't going to fall for it. John says I can block or delete but can't ban. Okay, that's cool. I might be able to. I'll have to go back and do that later or something. Trump is the best president. Yes, he is. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of them here. This is the third one already in there, the troll. You gotta love it. Admiral Cornelius. Yeah, in his own mind. Mike said, Jim, we're in Florida. Are you? Was I close to you in Fort Lauderdale? You weren't that far away, really. I think you're probably about 75 miles at most. Because Lauderdale's not that far. We're in the middle of the state. Lauderdale's on the East Coast. Uh, Down there in Miami. Yeah, 75, maybe 80 miles. If you'd have come up north into the center of the state, you would have bumped into me. Yeah, it's pretty close. Now, thanks again, Andy, for deleting that clown. Mike says, oh, he's out. Trump hates him. Yeah, he does. Trudeau's crapping his pants, probably. John says, dinner calls, might be back later. Okay, I'm not going to be on real late tonight because I've had a really long day, but if I'm still here, we'll see you then. Andy said, same joker, different handle. Yeah, it could be. Gerald says, I hid the troll. Thomas says, Jim, I found an antique 1950 L&N railroad spike yesterday. Oh, that's cool. Well, you must hang out like a lot and look for spikes everywhere, because you sure got a lot of them. So, what else am I missing here? Yeah, so like I said, I got a ton of stuff to do. Not a whole lot of time to get anything done around here. Now I got lights are going out. I got two of the overhead lights burned out. Got one over here is burned out. Matter of fact, you can, right there, that one's burned out. So I got at least three that, and I think there's one down there that flickers every now and then. It's getting ready to go out. But you know, I got almost 4 years out of them, so I can't complain. They're literally on for about 8 to 10 hours a day. So, because you said it'll go 10.5 years if you only use them for 3 hours a day. Well, who the hell uses a light only 3 hours a day? That's their LEDs, so I gotta buy more of them. But yeah, I'll get that done here pretty soon too. Thomas says I mess around too much on railroad tracks. Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, you must have a lot of tracks where you live then, I guess, huh? Joe says, don't worry, Mommy, we'll put him to bed shortly. Oh, the troll, yeah. JD says, I've got too many irons in the fire. I know exactly how you feel, JD. I seem like I got the same problem, you know. I'm taking on too much stuff, and I probably need to back off a little bit and concentrate on actually getting something accomplished. Because I'm trying to get a dozen things done, and I just don't have the time to do them all simultaneously, you know. Yeah, I hear you, Mike. Never have enough time. Ain't that the truth? Tom Grass says people that work all day only get 3 hours a day. Oh, that's true for you workers, but for us retired fuckers, you know, that's a whole different deal. This is our jobs, you know. Instead of 8 hours at the office, we spend 8 hours in the shed or in the train room. So, you know. I'm not complaining. Like I said, they're not that expensive, really. As time goes by, they're getting cheaper and cheaper. On Amazon, I think I saw a 6-pack for $15 of the daylight, 5,000 5000K or whatever, the brightness. It's really bright white light and they're dimmable. Because I got dimmers on both sides. And do I got an ant on me here? I do. Where the hell did he come from? Yeah, definitely getting time to bomb this place. uh, so yeah, I'm gonna have to order some here pretty soon. Trackside Mike said, busy helping folks and working, no time for layout and being sick. Yeah, that's true too. Well, like I said, there's only so many hours in a day, and uh, you can only do what you can do. So I drop that ant off me or what? I'm telling you. And I guess that's a basic issue all the ways around because I have a life too, not much of one, but there are other things I have to do. I have to food shopping for other items that we go through it on a weekly or monthly basis, and doctor's appointments here and there. I mean, there's always something going on, you know. Plus, I'm the designated driver for my mother-in-law. She doesn't drive anymore, so she needs a doctor, Walmart or somewhere else, and it's up to me to take her. So I don't mind. I'm not complaining or anything, but uh, you know, but I was just saying that I don't really have all my free time or all the free time to come out here and play, which kind of sucks. But because there's so much I'm behind so badly. I was talking to Tom yesterday when he was here, Tom Kavitchak, and I says, until I get the starter in the Ford Ranger and get that running, I can't go down and buy the wood or the foam for my second level because I don't want to put it in my car. Because it doesn't really fit in the car, and I'm not putting it up on the roof or anything. So that's really holding up the show to some degree. And once again, it's just as long as just I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking, maybe I should work on the truck today. And I go out there and I look at it, going, maybe I'll hold off till tomorrow. And I've been doing that shit every day now for what, 3 months? I mean, I'm gonna have to quit screwing around. That's why I bought the starter, and I just got it in a few days ago. I figured it's there. I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna go, well, look, I gotta put it in because I'm committed now, and that's just the way it goes. That's true, Ken. Absolutely. Being retired doesn't mean you have free time. It really doesn't. I mean, I'm fortunate in a way that I don't have any grandkids here to contend with. I mean, I'm a great granddad already, but my great grandkids, my grandkids, my regular kids are all a ways away. So, I mean, they don't really come and visit because they can't, not easily. So, because, when I was a kid, I used to go to my grandpa's, well, he was a longshore fisherman, but when he was home, I would go see him every couple of days because he was only around the block from our house. And then sometimes I go see my grandmother, same deal. And so it's not like that. And I'm kind of glad in a way. It's not that I don't love my grandkids, but I'd like to take care of my own things before I worry about theirs. Yeah. Derek says, I don't know how I got anything done when I was working. Yeah, I'm kind of, I mean, I did though. I got a lot of shit done, you know. And I said I was working, 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I still got tons of things done. I'd have time to work on my cars, or build something or do something. I mean, I actually had more time then than I have now. But for me, the biggest problem is the physical aspect of it because of my prior stroke. It's very difficult to get up and down now. And, working underneath the vehicles, it's it's a pain in the ass. Well, pain in the back, pain in the neck, pain in the elbows. Uh, like I said, I wish there was a way I could just tip the truck up on its side, and then there's a starter right there at eye level. I could swap it out, drop it back down, but I don't have any safe way that wouldn't hurt the truck or endanger me of doing that. Otherwise, I'd do it. I don't have a lift, and I tell you, if So I have to keep working underneath things. I'm going to go buy a lift. You know, they got cheap ones now, but they got one you could actually put in your garage or outside. It's 110 volt. Uh, it doesn't lift the car real high, but I think like up to here, 4 foot, somewhere around there. That's plenty. And I think it's good for up to 4 tons, I think. And, or maybe 2 tons, I don't remember. But it's powerful enough to lift either my car or my truck. And they're about $2,000. I mean, realistically, they're worth buying, you know, and when you're not using them, it's you know, you could drive right over it. There's no tall bars or anything. It's like a scissor type action. And I'm seriously kicking it around because, you know, I'm not the only one thinking of that. That's your bullshit. I just had to turn off the computer and get this shit done. Yeah, well, that happens too. It says buy a car with. Well, I said I'm really seriously kicking around. I can't do it this year, but maybe next year. Because I'll tell you what, just simple things, just like changing the oil in the car. I got a pair of ramps that I drove up on, you know, but I still got to get on my back underneath the car. There's not a whole lot of room, and I don't move like I used to. And it's just a general pain in the ass, where if I could maybe sit in a chair and go under there and do it that way, man, that'd be way easier, you know. And things like brake jobs and stuff like that, I still do those things. I did a brake job on my car, last year. You know, I replaced all 4 rotors and pads and stuff. But you know, the older I get, the harder it gets to do those things. You know, one of the things I bought was, hey Jesse in Oklahoma, how you doing? Watched your video last night. It was pretty cool, man. You got a nice layout, by the way. I bought one of those pump canisters. You can stick a hose down the dipstick tube, and you pump it a couple of times, and it sucks the oil out, which is fine. It works great. Problem is, can't get the goddamn oil filter out unless you get underneath the car, because you can't get it from the top. At least not on mine, anyway. Even the truck the truck I can get it from the top, the Ford Ranger, but the Grand Marquis, you've got to do it from underneath, and it's still a pain in the ass because there's power steering hoses and the steering rack that gets in your way, you know, the tie rods. I mean, I thought about relocating the oil filter, because I did that on my Firebird, because I put a big block in the Firebird Pontiac 350, and there wasn't any room for the oil filter in the stock location. So I got one of those adapters. There was enough room to get it under there. Well, the problem with those is the hoses that come with it, they're shit. They're garbage. So I had hydraulic lines made up and relocated the oil filter up in front of the radiator. So it actually got air cooled, which was cool. And it was real easy to get to. You open the hood and there it was. So that's on the table too still, you know. But, you know, it's kind of getting expensive to have to do these workarounds so I could still work on the damn car. Ken says, I got a list that could keep me busy around the house for the next 15 years. Only on chats when eating most of the time. Well, it's the same here. I got a ton of shit to do in the house too, you know. My master bathroom is still not usable. The toilet's not on, you know, I got the toilet removed from the floor. I had a water leak behind the toilet in one of the pipes, right? When the pipe went bad. So I tore into it, pulled the commode off, knocked down the wall. No fucking pipes. So I had to cut a section out of the outside wall, which is wood, and there's the pipe. And they actually had it on the outside of the frame of the house instead of on the inside, which is fucking stupid. I still got to fix that too. I still got a garbage bag covering the opening for that where we had to put a new piece of pipe in. It's T111, so I just got to buy a sheet of T111, cut it to size, and put it in there and repaint it, and, you know, be as good as new. On the inside, like I said, I got to put new drywall up on that one section of wall and retile it. and then put the commode back on, and then we're back in business. And that's been like that for shit, a year and a half now. You know, I mean, we got two other bathrooms, so I don't care. It's not like we need it. I use the one that's off the living room anyway, the half bath. I'd call that one mine. And my wife usually uses the one in the other bedroom. It's a full bath with a shower. So, I mean, if it was the only bathroom, obviously I would have fixed it a long time ago. But like I said, I've got that to do. I still got some electrical outlets I want to change out and upgrade them. Uh, there's two wall switches that I still have to upgrade. Instead of having the little paddle ones, I got the ones that, I don't know what you call them. They got the big squares on them. So I still have a whole bunch of stuff I need to do. I mean, I did most of the important stuff was all done when I first bought the house. I changed out the water heaters, went tankless on both of them. Replaced most of the electric. Like I said, some of the plugs, they wouldn't even hold the plug in them anymore. So changed all the outlets in the main house and the guest house, because it was even worse in the guest house. Had to replace the bathroom in the guest house because the shower stall was fiberglass, and the idiots that were squatting in this place before I bought it, they took a ball peen hammer to it. Had little holes like this all over the place. Couldn't fix it, so I wound up having to buy a new fiberglass shower stall. I'm kind of glad I did, because that was a clusterfuck in and of itself. Of course, I had to replace the cabinet and the sink because it was all falling apart. We had to do some wall work. I mean, I don't know what the hell they did. It was like a smokehouse in there. I'm an ex-smoker, and tobacco doesn't bother me. I could be in a room with somebody smoking. I got no problem. But it was so bad in there that as soon as you opened the door and went in, you got hit in the face with a wall of nicotine. It stunk so bad. And like I said, we had to pull down some of the walls because they were fucked up anyway. And redid all the drywall, fresh paint, primer and paint. There's no smell in there now, but then I had to rebuild the kitchenette in there too, because that was a disaster. I put over $13,000 in that guest house. That was actually for my stepdaughter and her kids and boyfriend to move into, which they did, but they only stayed for a year and then they moved out. I was a little pissed off about that. It's like, if I'd have known you're going to do this, I wouldn't have put all that money into it. I thought you were going to stay here a while. But I rented it out to my mother-in-law anyway, and that's where she's been there for, I think, going on 3 years now. But, like you said, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and then I've got outside. I got trees in the yard, and of course there's leaves everywhere. I can't really rake leaves, but we do have a machine that will suck them up and grind them up into dust, handheld, and so I could use that, but I haven't touched it in a year. There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to do. I mean, there's a lot of honeydew things that I just eventually I'll get to, but who knows when. Hey, Valley 56XX, how you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's just life goes on, and I ain't getting no damn younger. And Jesse says, Jim, I'm still doing channel tribute vids. Be watching for years. Oh, cool. I will, man. Thank you. I really do like. I like your layout though. It's very cool. Not very big, but it doesn't have to be. But it's really well detailed, and there's just enough going on there to make it really interesting. And that was really cool. And the revival I thought was really neat. A neat idea. So, I always leave comments on stuff like that. So I'm sure you read my comment. Ken says, this year I got MIL house completely renovated and sold. Got all new 6-inch gutters. Put on the house. New rear entry door, new basement door. Bought me a new bamboo printer and Lasermatic MK2 XW laser. Cool. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's always things to be done. And it just seems it's never ending. Just when you think you're caught up, something else takes a shit. My wife informed me today that her, so I guess a tabletop broiler or something like that, it's taking a shit. So it doesn't get hot that much anymore. I said, well, it'll last forever. So that'll be in the trash. Don't have to buy her a new one. You just can't win. Just when you think you're caught up, something happens and knocks you back on your ass again. Jesse said, it's under construction, and yes, I did. Oh, that's cool. So, like I said, I don't know. It's all craziness when you get down to it. Not only that, but I'm figuring by the looks of it, I could pay my property taxes around the first week of December. I'll have enough. So once that's done, then probably more than likely 1st of January I'll start on the expansion for the shed. And that's going to be a real pain in the ass, because I'll be honest, man, I am really getting too old for this shit, But it's got to be done. I can't afford to pay somebody, Now, for me, the hardest thing will be the roof. The floor and the walls, I think, won't be too bad. I could always the electric's a piece of cake. But and all the finish work is no big deal either. But the roof is probably going to be the toughest part of it. And I may have to just break down and pay somebody to do the roof. I don't know. Jesse put up a link. So if you get a chance, take a look at that. I'll do that after the show. Joe says, just sent my tax bill out. Yeah, that's always fun, isn't it? I just got mine in, and it wasn't bad. I thought it was going to be more because I was talking to my neighbor, and he says, well, because he pays about the same I do, even though I have a little more land than he does. But, no, actually we have about the same. But I got the guest house, he doesn't have one. But he says he was expecting it to be around 1,600. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, last year was only a little over 1,200, I think it was 1,250 or something like that for me. And I'm thinking, damn, 16, that's a lot of damn money. That's a big jump, Well, all of it, I guess, really relied on, the fire department was trying to get more money. They wanted $384 increase for the year. Well, they didn't get it. Fuck them. I mean, the reality is I live in a wood house, and if something happened, hopefully it never does, but I mean, it would be a total loss, and I don't have insurance because I can't afford it. But by the time the fire department got here, and that's assuming they felt like trying to do something, I'd still be screwed out of a house. So why do I want to give them more money? We have fire extinguishers here. In theory, if I catch it early, I could take care of it. But luckily, like I said, they didn't get their increase, so my bill was it's $12.56, I think, this year. Just a few dollars more than it was last year. So, because I started saving about 6 months ago, and because I only have so much money that I can put aside, and I'll have enough come December. Then I can get some work done for a few months, Kent says measuring for 27 new windows, and I'll have them for next spring. Already got new front porch flooring and need to make new posts. My winter will consist of master bath, never a dome. I guess not. Yeah, like I said, there's always stuff to be done. It's rough. For me, money's an issue always, but the physical aspects of it, I'm really getting to that point where I'm only 65. I'm not really that old, but remember, I suffered a stroke. If it wasn't for that, This would probably be no big deal. Like my dad worked until he was, in his 80s. You know, I mean, even though he was disabled, but because of his heart, but he still worked. Not full time, but I mean, if something needed to be done in the house, he'd jump right in and do it, no problem. And he was quite capable. Me, I'm losing the capability. I said when I can't stand for any length of time because I've got hip issues going on. I'm not getting new hips, knock wood. It's because of the stroke, because, one leg's a little shorter than the other. It's putting a lot of stress on my hip, which hurts my back. So just like Tom Chvichak from Tom's Trading was saying, he can only stand up and, work for 5-10 minutes. Then he's got to rest for 15. I'm just as bad, maybe worse. I get up, I do something for 5 minutes. I got to sit down, got to relax for 15-20 minutes, get back up, work another 5 minutes, and rinse and repeat. It's rough, but, that's the way I have to do things now, which sucks. Because if I could stand on my feet for like a half an hour or so, I could actually get a lot of shit done. And I can't really sit down and work in here because my benches aren't low enough. I actually engineered the benches so that I could get underneath and sit up underneath and work if I have to. Because that was a mistake I made on the last layout down in Naples. I couldn't really get underneath my benches. They were about 5 inches lower than these ones. And it was too high to be laying on my back and reach things, but it was too low to sit up and try and do anything. So I said, I'm not going to make that mistake twice. I almost wish I'd have made them a little bit higher, but that would have led to its own problems in and of itself. However, that's where Tom was smarter than me. If you've ever seen his layout, on his live stream or his videos, his is it's probably about this high, where mine is down here a little bit. And it's like, I think his is about 5 or 6 inches higher than mine. And he can actually sit in his chair and, duck under and roll underneath his layout. So he doesn't need to have a tip up. He could, it's set up as a tip up, but he's actually got it now where it's a permanent structure, more or less. And that would have been to my benefit to do that, because this tip up is the biggest pain in my ass there ever was, And no matter what I do, it's just never really 100%. So, but it's close. It's fairly reliable now, especially when I use those puzzle piece ends for the track. But, And let's see, did I get behind again? No, not really. Joe says they screwed my taxes up. Supposed to be $500 and they billed me $1,600. Holy shit! Well, are you getting the discount for a senior, or how's that working for you? I wouldn't mind having a $500 tax bill. I could pay that in 1 month and not even blink an eye, But and of course that's another issue. Now well, I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword, because under Biden, property houses were supposed to go, because he's destroying the country. Now that Trump's in, they may go up higher, and we may wind up paying more taxes. However, there is a push nationwide to eliminate property tax. It needs to happen. My house is paid for. I own it, but I don't, And it's bullshit. Here I am, 65 years old. My kids graduated school a long damn time ago, like 40 years ago. Why am I paying taxes? Because it all goes to the schools anyway. Most of it. So, it is bullshit. Ken says, damn, Joe, I'd love $500 bill. My tax bill went up more than that this year. I'm sure it did. Jesse said, mine is only 30 inches high, so I can reach the wall 4 foot away. Okay. Yeah, well, that was another thing, too. I didn't have it as deep as my old layout either. I think I've got this down to 3 foot, maybe. No, maybe it's 2.5 foot. I don't remember, but I could reach the end. Because layout I had back home in Naples, the old house, I couldn't reach the wall. But I think this one here is 34 maybe. 34, 36 high. I don't remember. I'd have to measure it. Gerald says average tax here is 5,000 and up. Oh man, that's crazy. That's why I'm glad I don't live in Jersey, because Jersey taxes are nuts, man. You know, if we'd have stayed up there, and of course I would have inherited my dad's house up there, I would have lost it because I couldn't keep up with the taxes. You know, I just don't make enough money. Joe says senior, low fixed income, and homestead discount. Well, I got the homestead exemption here, and they're supposed to raise the income, the homestead exemption here, because it's 50,000 now, I think, and they're supposed to go up with inflation. So I don't know how they're going to work that out, but I should get the senior discount. But the problem is here in Florida, you have to own your house for 20 years. Well, I've only been here for 4. Now, I own the other house in Naples for, I think, let's see, I got that in 09. Yeah, I got the house in 09. So it's probably close to 20 years if they counted the 2. But they don't. They only count the 1 you're in now. So that's bullshit. So that means I got to stay here 20 years to get like a $400 discount. Big deal, you know. So I'm saying, as soon as you turn 65, you should become tax exempt, you know. End of subject. Unless you still got kids in school. And if you got kids in school at 65, well, you're either working overtime or there's something else going on there. You know. James goes, more money for trades. Well, I mean, even more money all the ways around. You know, like I said, it doesn't, in a lot of ways, it's not a lot of money. I mean, guys say, well, you know, it's all you're paying is $1,300 a year. That ain't shit. Well, technically it isn't. But, you know, I only get, I get 18,000 a year, thereabouts, I think. 16 or 18,000, I don't remember, from Social Security. That's my own, well, that's with my rental income that I get from my mother-in-law. It's not a lot of money, you know. And I mean, you know, money goes. You know how it works. It's hard to budget money. I mean, I don't have any savings account anymore. I used to, but my savings is gone. You know, COVID put an end to that to some degree, and like I said, just things going on here and there. And of course, I pocketed some decent money when I sold the house in Naples. I came up with a little over 100,000, you know, extra after I bought this house. The problem is I couldn't sit on that money because I'm on disability. And the government would have either cut off my disability check or took the money, you know. So it's like I had to spend it. So I put it back into the house, which was, of course, a good move. But, I mean, I would have liked to have maybe put 25,000 of that away and just leave it and forget about it. But legally, I couldn't do it. So it's like, what the fuck, you know? Yeah, Jesse, that's true. It goes in some crook's pocket. Now, when I was at that dinner this morning, you know, the Thanksgiving dinner, they had some of the local government employees there. The tax collector was there. And this guy's like 7 foot tall. I mean, I'd never seen a man that tall before in real life. I mean, literally, he was 7 foot. I kid you not. I mean, he was big, you know. I mean, and I'm thinking, so that's the guy I need to get kicked in the nuts for my tax bill. But if I did that, he'd probably bend me in half and kill me. I mean, you know, but he's the one responsible for, I guess, the assessments and stuff. That was another thing, too. My initial tax bill or tax estimate that they gave me back in September or August, it was August, it was actually lower than my actual tax bill was. Then they sent me a notice like a month later saying they made a mistake on the assessment because when I got the initial assessment, my house was worth 172 on the books, you know. Then they said, well, no, it's actually worth 256. So there you go, getting bent over right off the bat, you know. So I just, you can't win no matter what the hell's going on. Ken says, I got a few years on that yet, Joe. He'll be nice when I get that old. Yes and no. I mean, it comes with, there's pluses and negatives with growing old. You know, like I said, the fact that you're still alive is always a plus. You know, and if you're in good health, that's even better. But they're not making it easier financially, because even though we've put our time in, so to speak, with taxes and whatever, they still bend us. So they bend you over till the day you die. And then they get you after you're dead, you know? I mean, if you want to be put in a box, you know, actual burial, you're looking at $35,000 to $40,000 to get buried, you know? And they don't let you just bury in your backyard anymore. Because, I mean, if you go up in like Kentucky and Tennessee, there's a lot of burial plots in front of houses where they just buried their dead right there in the front yard, you know. They don't let you do that shit no more, which also sucks. Because if we're up to me, I'd say, you know, dig a hole, throw me in there, and the body's dead. Who the hell cares, you know? But you're not allowed to do that. So, I mean, I'll get cremated because it's cheaper. But even that's like $7,000, you know. It's nuts, man. And he goes, just say to him, relax, Frankenstein, you ain't bulletproof. That's a good point. Yeah, Gerald, absolutely. Getting old is not for sissies, man. Not even close. Uh, it's rough, man, you know. I'm not even really that old yet, you know. I mean, I talked to some guys. Most people I know are older than me, you know. There's a few that are younger, but not many. And I'm saying, yeah, it's getting rough to be old. And they go, you ain't fucking old. What are you talking about? Damn it, I'm old enough. You know, if you're over 50, as far as I'm concerned, you're old. You know, you're on the back end of your life now, you know, from 50 on up. And, you know, that's assuming, you know, nobody knows how long to live, but let's say you live to 90, you know, that's 40 years you got left from 50, you know. So you're definitely on the back end no matter how you look at it. Once they figure out how to extend our life, you know, lifespans to maybe 125 or something, which I'd be okay with that as long as I was still mobile and my brain worked, you know. Joseph, Dad's funeral was 18 grand and Mom's was 16. I paid for both. Nothing in savings. Yeah, I imagine that was cheap too. You got off easy. Down here in Florida, it's crazy, you know. And I mean, a lot of people, you know, they prepay their plots and stuff. I could have done the same thing, but screw it, you know. James goes, not me, Jim. The hole in the box is paid in full. There you go. Yeah, well, back in the day, that's what most people did, you know. Like, when we still lived up north, my dad had a place to be buried for him and my mother. Of course, I think he sold them after we moved down here, you know, but almost everybody, my grandparents had their plots ready to go, you know. But down here, I guess, you know, plus, you know, I guess we tend not to try and dwell on that too much, you know. Like, I don't have life insurance because I fear the day I get it, I'll fucking die. You know. And it's like, yeah, I'm just not going to go there. And it's not cheap either, you know. And once again, I don't have really any disposable income, you know, for stuff like that. When I spend money, I want to see something in my hand, you know. Life insurance, you can't put that money in your hand because, well, when you collect on it, you're dead. You know. So I just don't want to go there. Ken says, I paid more taxes than most because I'm being in business for 24 years. I had to foot the whole bill. Been paying taxes for 50 years on income, and you'll never get away from property tax. That seems to be true. Well, I didn't pay that much in taxes when I was working because, let's just say I was trained by someone who knew how to legally get out of it, and he taught me well. I paid some, but not a lot. But most of the money I put in was for Social Security, believe it or not. And I'm really kind of getting screwed on that in a way because if I didn't go on disability and waited till now, 65 to retire, I'd be getting about 3,200 a month compared to the 16 that I get for disability. So, and if they take me out disability, which I heard sometimes they do, and put me on regular Social Security, I'm not likely to get an increase. They'll find some way to fuck me out of it. So, you know, they can't win no matter what. Jesse says, I'm 64, Jim, right behind you. Well, at least you're behind me and not ahead of me. There you go. Valley says, just chuck me off a Wales to Ireland ferry. There you go. Joe says, my income is all disposed of. Eddie goes, chuck or sprinkle, Chris. Todd says, Davy Jones locker style, Chris. There you go. What the fuck is Walgreens calling me for? You're going to ask me a stupid question. Are you interested in taking a statin for your high cholesterol? I don't have high cholesterol anymore, so no, I'm not interested. Why waste gas? Just throw me in the sea with weights. There you go. My dad was the same way. He used to tell me, of course, you couldn't do it legally. He said, just put me in a cardboard box and tell them to throw me in a hole and we're good to go, Because he was the same way I am. It's like, well, you're dead. You leave your body at the time of death. I mean, if you believe in God, usually. So your body is just a useless shell. Once you die, you leave it and you just got a husk left over. Who the hell cares, And you think about it, like you go to the funeral parlor and they got these fancy caskets with satin lining and cushions and premium foam and all. It's like, the guy's dead. He ain't gonna enjoy none of that shit, He'll just rot in there with his body. I mean, think about it. It's kind of stupid, Now, he requested cremation and I had him cremated. And his ashes are buried at the Veterans Cemetery here in Florida, in Sarasota. So he wanted to go to Arlington, but there was no way we could have got him up there. And I don't know if they'd let him be in Arlington or not, because he fought in World War II, so he's a World War II veteran, but he was happy just to be in a veteran cemetery, and they did that for free. So that was kind of a plus as well. But I paid, I think almost $8,000 for his cremation and all the horse shit that went along with it. So, and once again, they make a big deal out of that too, Well, we got to pay for the gas to burn them with. You got to put them in a cardboard box instead of just throwing the body in there and burning it. They got to put it in a cardboard box and burn it with the box. Like, why? I mean, this is really stupid shit, And the good thing is, it would have been even more had he had a pacemaker or any kind of metal in his body, because they can't cremate him with any of that stuff in your body. They have to remove it first. So he didn't have none of that stuff. So I said, nah, he's still clean. I says, and he's missing a few organs, He had his, shit, I can't think of the name of it now. the normal ones they take out, his appendix, the other one I can't think of. He had all that shit removed, when he was younger. I said, I should get a discount for less to burn. They didn't see the humor in it. Joe says, I retired at 63 and only get $16.59 monthly. Yeah, you should have waited till you were 65, I mean, if I had not had the stroke, I probably would have worked well, and probably would have waited till 70 and then retired. Because like I said, I would have got a lot of money. I probably got more if I'd have waited longer. But I didn't have that option because, I had the stroke and I became disabled at 47 years old. So initially they were giving me, it was $1,059 a month was my first payments. And then through the COLAs over the years, it's $1,535 right now. And it'll probably go up to $1,580 with this year's COLA, the 2.6 or whatever the hell it is. It's not enough, you know. I was talking to somebody some time back, and they said if they factored in real inflation, Social Security recipients should be getting a minimum of $4,000 a month to meet with inflation, which sounds about right. If they gave me $4 grand a month, shit, I'd be living like a king, man. Let's see. Jesse says, supper time, guys. Got to go see y'all down the track. All right, Jesse. Thanks for popping in, man, and have a good weekend. And we'll see you next week. JD said, I retired at 64 and a half. Well, that's close. And Andy said 59 was enough for me. There you go. Gerald said 66 and a half. That's like you said, the longer you go, the more money you get because they figure in that you won't live that long and that you'll actually, it kind of works out somehow or another. But Ken says, I'm 63, not claiming till 64 for tax reasons. Pays more to wait plus offset of income from selling house and no work makes it. Yeah, exactly. That's like my wife. She retired at 62. And I told her, I said, it's a mistake. Don't do it. Well, I need the money. I said, don't matter. Don't do it. Wait till you're 65. She gets a little over $700 a month. She would have got 14 if she waited till she was 65. Would have almost doubled the money. So you got to be real careful. And like you said, if you're on SSI or SSDI, that would be me, disability. They don't want you having a lot of money sitting around. And I know how my dad got away with it because he was on disability. And when he passed, there was $63,000 in the bank that we split up evenly amongst me, my brother, and sister. We each got 13 and change. But they never said anything about it. And he had it in the bank, but they told me I can't have excessive money in the bank. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe they're pulling my chain. Who knows? Same with my mother-in-law. She's on SSI because she never paid in. She worked under the table all her life, and she gets a decent amount of money. But uh, she said if she'd have known that she didn't think she'd live as long as she did. She's 83, I think, and she says if I'd have known I was going to live this long, I would throw money in there and collect regular Social Security and made some real money. I said, yeah, well, what are you going to do? Valley says, I do not want to retire. Since I was a small child, I've never been seriously ill, only injuries from things I did to myself. I don't want to sit and blob. No, I don't blame you. Like I said, until I had the stroke, my theory was I'd probably work until I died. I mean, I wanted to retire at some point, but I honestly didn't see it because, excuse me, so many people I knew said that they weren't making enough money on their Social Security, so I'm thinking, well, I'm making decent money working. I might as well keep on working as long as I can, you know. When I had the stroke, I was bringing in almost 7,000 a month profit, from my business, and I mean I was doing well, but unfortunately I didn't save that much of it, and like I said, just I'm fine one day, and next minute I'm having a fucking stroke, and well, that takes care of that, you know. James says I'm 72, OAS, and pension. That's cool. That's another thing too, I should have, if I was smart, and I wasn't, I should have went to work for the post office. You put in 20 years at the post office, boom, you retire with $4,000 a month pension for life, no matter what you did. And I'm thinking, damn, I should have been a mailman, I have two friends that work for the post office, and one was a delivery woman, and the other one worked inside, and they both retired 20 years and $4,000 a month for the rest of their lives. So, but I didn't know, otherwise I probably would have, I would have done a few things different had I had the knowledge of it. Andy says, I wanted enough time while I'm still fairly fit to do things. Yeah, there you go. And that's another thing, too. Hey, Cowboy Steve, how you doing? Good to see you here, man. Uh, like you said, that makes a lot of difference, too. And I'll tell you, there's a certain amount of truth to, if you worked hard all your life and then you stop and you retire, a lot of times you drop dead real shortly afterward because your body can't handle not doing anything. you know. And that's why I said, if you're going to retire, find a good hobby that you could afford, but that'll keep your mind busy and your body active. Like you said, so trains are kind of the perfect hobby for that. I mean, the bullshit of going out and knocking a ball around on a golf course, that don't even make sense to me. And it's actually more expensive than trains are, in most cases. But like I said, I in some ways I wish that I could have avoided the stroke, and like I said, I'd be working today. You know, I just I never planned for retirement. I really didn't. Bugger wrong hobby, laughing my ass off. All right, ELW. We'll see you later, man. And thanks again for the sticker. And if you get a chance, give me the damn dimensions on that O-scale dump truck, and we'll see if I can put one together for you. You got the Thanksgiving cookie, GRE. You were the first one in. Well, that's true, Russ. And that was another factor, too. And that's probably why I never saved money. And I'm not bragging or anything, but realistically, I literally drew in close to $2 million in my lifetime before I could work anymore, which is not fucking bad. Did I save any of it? Not really. And because a lot, as I said, I've always worked around old people. I knew a lot of old people. And I watch guys, they spend their whole life amassing a fortune. They retire, and before they get a chance to enjoy it, they drop dead. I wasn't going to be that guy. you know? So that's just the way it is. Valley says, okay, I'm going to retire to my pit and catch y'all later, peeps. All right, Valley, thanks for popping in, man. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Uh, there's a good question. Mason says, if you could go back and talk to your 50-year-old self, what would you say to him? I'd have to go back a little bit further. If I went back to my 40-year-old self, I would probably say, look, first off, get your shit together, get your health in order. I was very healthy till I had the stroke. I mean, I really had nothing go wrong. I had high blood pressure a little bit, but it was sort of under control. And that may have been a contributing factor to my stroke. I don't really know. But I could have prevented it had I known what was going to happen. A lot of mistakes were made. So short of that, I don't know. I just said I really had it in my head that I'd be working probably till the day I died. And I was okay with that, though, because that's the way I was raised. You go to work, you make money, you enjoy your life, and, maybe you'll get to retire someday, maybe you won't. But, like you said, I didn't want to drop dead right after I, spent my entire life saving my fortune, and then I'd be dead. Well, what was the point of that? Russ said my dad died at 66. I'm sorry to hear that, man. My dad made it to 91, but he got Alzheimer's around 87. He wasn't real bad yet. I mean, he still knew me. He knows my wife. He knew his grandkids, but he didn't know what year it was or even what state he lived in. It was bad. But, and that seems to be the magic number for my family, 91. I don't know if I'll see that, but I'm hopeful. Thomas says, Jim always said no one is getting rich when I die. Well, exactly, I mean, my dad really wanted to send to put more stuff away for us. But he gave me his house. He gave me his house before he died. Before he went into the nursing home, he said, "Look," he says, "I'm going to quit claim the house to you because they'll just take it away." And he was right; they would have. So I was like, "Well, that's enough for me." And I didn't even know he had all that money in the bank because I had power of attorney over all his stuff. But I mean, I used some of his Social Security and VA money to take care of him before he went in the home. And I didn't want to put him in a home. VA made me. They told me if you don't put him in a home, we're going to cut off his money. And I'm going, you got to be shitting me. You know, I didn't have the money at that point because I already had the stroke. You know, so I was basically getting disability. I didn't have the extra money to take care of him as well as me and my wife. So I relied on his money to take care of him and my money to take care of me and my wife. So, I mean, I documented every dollar I spent on him so that, we weren't pissing away or using it for ourselves or anything. And they would get mad at me. They said, he's got all this money. Why don't you buy a new car? I don't want a new car because the car he has is, I took his car away from him because he couldn't drive anymore. It was an '04, but all this happened in 2009. The car only had 13,000 miles on it. For all intents and purposes, it was a new car. And I'm not going to waste 30 grand on a new car when there's nothing wrong with the old one. Well, you got to spend this money. I said, I don't got to do nothing. So, fuck them people, but that's really what happened. I wish I could tell my 35-year-old self to go through with the divorce. Yeah, I guess sometimes that happens, but, I was 27 when I got divorced. My ex-wife, we were married for 10 years to the day. We got married on February 23rd, and we got divorced on February 23rd, 10 years later. What are the odds of that one, huh? Joseph's dad was 88, mom was 86. Not bad. Sorry to hear that, but, that's not really that old anymore. But you just never know when you're going to go. I mean, you read the internet and people are dropping dead at 20, 30, you know. So I figure if you lived a good long life and were reasonably healthy and had a fairly decent life, you did well for yourself. Cowboy Steve says neither me nor my wife have any kids, so might as well spend it. Absolutely. Well, that's how I used to tell my dad. He said, well, I'm going to make sure there's money in my will. I said, Dad, spend your damn money. It's your money. You worked for it. We'll be fine. And I never expected to really get any money from him, but, he did actually put aside some that I wasn't aware of. But, that was my idea. It's your money. You worked for it. Enjoy it. Because he wouldn't buy shit for himself. I used to buy stuff for him. Like, he'd go to the auctions and the garage sales to buy these junk used TVs. That was before the flat screens, and he'd have it. He'd spend $75 on his used TV. It would work for a month, and then it'd self-destruct. So I finally got so fed up, and I said, "Look, I'm going to buy you a new TV." So I went out. I spent I think $1,000 thereabouts for a brand new color set for him. I bought him a Sony Trinitron, which at the time was one of the best TVs you could buy. And he was so happy. He says, "Why'd you spend all that money?" I said, "Because I can, and because I hate seeing you. You've thrown away hundreds of dollars on junk TVs that only last a month or two. Here's a brand new one you can watch and not have to worry about it. Hell, there's a 1-year warranty on it if something does happen. Because I did that with a lot of things for him because he refused to buy anything. He grew up during the Great Depression, and went through the war and all that. So he was used to, struggling for money. So for him, he didn't waste money at all. I mean, that man could stretch a dime from here to the other end of the continent, But he never got to the point where he says, all right, I can relax now. I can enjoy some of my wealth, So I bought him things, and I didn't care because I felt that he needed it. And you know. And I made good money, so I didn't care, you know. And that's why I have no money now, because I pissed it all away. But, you know, it's for good cause. Ken says, when I retired last year, they knew I was serious. There you go. Cowboy Steve says, we're looking at a 37-acre property with a small 1,200 square foot house, lots of woods, and in the hills. I'll trade you, man. I'm only on 2 acres here. Well, just under 2 acres. We're not really out in the boonies, but we're on the outskirts. We're considered rural, you know. And I like it. I really do. I wish I could have bought more land. I wish I had more money to do it, but you know, my house is pretty big. It's 3,500 square foot. You know, if you count the guest house. But the guest house is only, I think, 450 square foot. So you figure 3,000 square foot's my house, and then, you know, but you know, I like living out there. My wife, she's like, oh, why'd you buy such a big house? Well, why not? You know, because the old house was only 2,000 square foot, and we were renting out half of it. So the front half where we lived was only 900 square foot. The back half was 1,100 square foot. So, you know, I figured, you know, there's nothing wrong with having I don't want a mansion, but it's kind of nice having more than one bathroom, and, you know, the living room is huge. I like that, and I have a fireplace, and, you know, it's what I want. So, by all means, if you can pull that one off, absolutely grab it. Because, you know, everybody should live out in the middle of nowhere. You'll find life is so much easier, less stressful. You know, you don't have idiot neighbors to deal with. People ask me, they say, why'd you go from, you know, a nice little subdivision up here? It's because the subdivision was full of drama, and I got tired of the damn drama, you know. And every time somebody sold the house more than it was worth, my taxes would go up. And that was pissing me off too, you know. And since I left there, the house that I sold, I was paying, I think it was 12 or 1,300 a year for that. And it's up to 4,000 now, because the house is valued at over $1 million. It's nuts, you know. Russ says, I told my wife if she gives my trains to Goodwill, I will haunt her for the rest of her life. There you go. I'd imagine my wife will sell off all my shit when I die, assuming that she outlives me, which she probably will. But, you know, I said, once you're dead, it don't matter, you know. If anybody fucks with my shit while I'm alive now, they're probably going to take a bullet. I don't care who they are. Cowboy says, how did that comedian song go? I'm older than a lot of famous dead guys. I haven't heard that one. Hey, Frank, Steeler fan 820. How you doing, man? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Russ has bought a 42-inch plasma TV in 07. It's still going strong. Knock on wood. Well, that's like the one here. This is a 40. This is a 40-inch, and I bought it back in, I think, 2009. Maybe. Yeah, I think it was 2009. I bought it. Paid almost $1,000 for the fucking thing. It wasn't a smart. Well, it's not a plasma. This was an LED, but it's not a smart TV, and it's still going. You know, not good. I have a 50-inch sitting in the garage in case this one does die. You know, it's brand new out there, so I got it from my stepdaughter. It's not a smart TV either, and I don't need a smart TV out here, so not a big deal. Cowboy Steve says, my mom's family is from the middle of West Virginia. They were dirt poor. My uncle used to say he thought Grandma and Grandpa invented copper wire. They both found the same penny. There you go. Uh-oh. Frank said Russ's TV just went out. And Ken says, idiots are everywhere. No getting away from them. If they aren't near you when you buy, it's guaranteed they'll move close before long. That, unfortunately, is true. Now, there's a land. There's 4.5 acres next door to me that's open field. I wanted to buy it. And when I first moved here, I could have got it for, well, $25,000. And I had the money, you know, because like you said, I had a little excess money. And the guy, it was my neighbor who owned it, and he didn't really like me because, you know, the people that lived before me were real jackasses, and he had a bad taste in his mouth for anybody that moved in here. And we were good friends now, but he refused to sell it to me, which really sucked. And I think it was a year later, he wound up selling it to somebody else. It was worth more money at that point. I think he got 30 something for it. They bought it. We're going to build on it. Found out it was going to cost a fortune, so they walked away from it. Well, they flipped it and sold it for 66. Well, I didn't have that kind of money, so I couldn't buy it, you know. I wasn't going to give 35 for it either, actually, but 25 I would have paid for it because I had no plans of building on it. Just leave it, mow it every 3 or 4 months, and forget about it, you know. And that's just my land, you know. So it sold just recently. It sold for 110,000, and some Italian guy with his Dutch wife, they bought it. I haven't formally met the guy yet. My wife did, and he wants to build a house out there, but I got my fingers crossed that it falls through. And what most of these guys don't understand is they want to build their own houses. And it's like, I don't know if they're just stupid or what, but the guy before him started to put the foundation down, just the dirt and stuff. All right. Well, he got busted. Code enforcement, I don't know who turned him in. I didn't. But somebody turned him in, or they found out somehow, and they fined him a bunch of money and shit. And he finally got fed up, and his builder, that was right when the wood started going real high in price. His builder said, "Look, I can't give you the same price that I quoted you before the raise in, you know, wood prices." He says, "It's going to be a little bit more." And the guy got all pissed off, said, "Well, fuck you, I'm selling the place," you know, which is good because me and him didn't get along anyway. Some Cuban guy, and he had an attitude issue, you know. There's a telephone pole on his land that feeds my house, you know, electric. And the first thing he says, "Well, I'm going to have that moved onto your property." I says, "No, you're not, because they're not going to do it." I says, "First off, that's not really your land. That's the frontage or whatever you call it. There's a name for it, can't think of it." And I says, the easement. I says, you have no say over the easement, you know. Yeah, it's technically your property, but you have no control over the light pole. It's going to stay there. "Oh, no, it won't. Oh, I don't care what it costs. I'm going to have it moved onto your land." Well, good luck with that. I guess he went to the Duke Electric, and they told him, "Oh, no, we can't do that." Hey, this guy was a total jackass, you know. I mean, I really didn't care one way or the other, you know. But just his attitude, like, yeah, this and this, and, you know. And then we had some disagreements over our borders, our land borders, and he called in another, whatever you call them. And somehow or another, I lost like 6 inches off my property. Now, I had mine done twice, and they still couldn't get it right. And then this third one, the survey, they wound up 6 inches in what I thought was my property. So it was just a big clusterfuck, you know. But all right, Andy, have a good one, man. Thanks for popping in, and we'll see you next week, man. Good night to you. So you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I really don't want anybody building over there. I just want to keep it open, you know. It's just, I moved here because I didn't want neighbors, you know. I have a couple, but they're nice people. They don't bother me. We don't bother them. I get along with them, you know. But, you know, I don't want, if it gets real crowded here, I may get an attitude and sell the place and go somewhere deeper, you know. Because I just don't want to be bothered with everybody else's bullshit, you know. Cowboy says the house on that 37 acres is right on the county road with one neighbor across the road. Nice thing about 37 acres, I can build a new house with a nice buffer. Oh, fuck yeah, man. That's a lot of land. I would kill for that almost, you know. Russ says, "I have a Democrat idiot living next door." That sucks. You know it's going to happen, though, right? It's inevitable. There's always got to be a dumbass on the block somewhere, you know. I said for me it would have been that Cuban guy, but thank God he didn't move in. Now this other guy, like I said, I don't know, you know. He's Italian, and his wife is Dutch. Weird combo. But once, you know, it seems like everybody comes there, has got big plans, you know. oh, we're going to fence the whole property line. We're going to do this. We're going to build a big house. And it's like, and, it's going to cost you about $750,000 to $1 million to do that, right? And most of that 4.5 acres is wooded. I mean, the part that's clear isn't very big. So if he really wants to build a big house, he's going to have to clear some of that. Well, you're looking at a shitload of money for that, Then you got impact fees. The electric meter and the water meter are $10,000 each, the impact fees for those. That's 20 grand right there. I don't know what the impact fees are, but they're probably at 20 or 30 grand. I mean, you're throwing, 40, 50 grand before you can even put your shovel in the ground. Then you got permit costs. Probably going to get a builder, I'm sure, to do the building. So, I mean, by the time you get through, it's just crazy money. I mean, it really doesn't pay to build your own house. It's better to buy one that's already built. It's actually cheaper in the long run. Under the current rules. Cowboy says, sounds like the beginning of a joke. This Italian and Dutch wife walks into a bar. Yeah. I haven't met the guy yet. He drove by once and I waved at him. He waved at me and that was about it. It might turn out to be a nice guy, but I just really don't want anybody to build out there. I mean, maybe I'm being selfish or maybe even a jackass, but, I came out here to fucking not be bothered by it, people, And of course, he talked to my wife and, he asked all these questions. Is there animals here? She didn't tell him about the bear that comes by every November and destroys shit. She doesn't talk about, other wild animals that come into the property. Well, and they do. We've got pictures of them. He didn't know about the train track. And I said, that's the first thing I said, oh yeah, a train comes through here, sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning blowing its horn. And it does. After a while, it doesn't bother you, but some people may be, have a problem with that. So I'm hoping he might say, well, fuck this. This is what I thought it was, So I kind of, I was kind of disappointed in her for not, giving this guy the whole truth. She says, well, what would you have told? I said, I'd have told him the whole damn truth. Yeah, we got bear. There's protected turtles on his land they legally can't touch. There's a train that comes through first thing in the morning and leaves, before noon. And then sometimes they run at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and, they blow their horns. And it shakes your house because, you're literally 50 foot off the track. I don't care. And then he asked about the hurricane. Well, shit, we had 2. The eye came right over Sebring. Ian was the first one, and Milton, well, the eye was a little bit north of us, but close enough to call. No damage, but there could have been. Yeah. I mean, I got no problem telling people that shit. Ken says only 2 dem signs around my area and they disappeared quickly. Well, that's a good thing. Well, there was a survey done recently here in Sebring, and I think they said it was 70% Republican, 20% Democrat, and then the rest were independents. So we outnumber the Democrats here, which is a good thing. And I think they're all up in town anyway, because they ain't down here on the south end. You won't see a Harris sign or a Biden sign or anything. It's all Trump, man. Trump rules this area. Frank says, get rid of him now, Russ, while you can still get a 0 bond. There you go. Russ says you can't fix stupid. That's true. Well, you can, but it's not legal. You're not allowed to kill them, unfortunately. Yeah, surveyors. I know I'm a little behind here. All right, Mason. Have a good one, man. Thanks for popping in, and we'll see you next time. And it just jumped on me again. Frank says, plant some endangered plants over there, Jim. No way to build there. Well, they got the turtles there. They're protected. And the Cuban, and I should have turned him in. I didn't, because like I said, I'm not really that much of a jackass, but I probably should have been. He put his 4-wheel drive over the hole, put a hose on his exhaust, and down in the turtle hole and tried to, snuff him out with his exhaust, which is, if he'd have got caught, he'd have went to prison. And I should have turned him in. But there's there's a vast amount of turtle tunnels all over the place. I've got a couple on my property. We just don't bother them. We don't mess with them with the lawnmower or anything else. We know where they're at, and just. And I see the turtle every now and then. They're about, I think there's one about yay big. Uh, Looks like a snapping turtle or something. I don't know. But yeah, they're protected, so you can't mess with them. But it's like I said, nothing's illegal until you get caught. And amazingly, most people do look at it from that perspective. So they do what the hell they want. They figure they'll get away with it. And who cares? Cowboy says, good idea, Frank. Or find some rare endangered mouse and transplant it to the property. There you go. Yeah, Jim like in Cousin Vinny. I remember that movie. That was a good movie. I love the train horns at 3 a.m. Yeah. They're really not supposed to blow the damn thing that late, but they do. Not all of them do, but some of them do. And I mean, they'll start blowing it right behind my house, and it's literally like, 500 yards away from the crossing. And they still, fuck, man. If you don't see the train's headlight in the middle of the night, there's no street lights or anything, so you can't miss it. And you cross the tracks and get hit by a train, well, you're an idiot. Plus, they got the arms, the crossing signals. So, I mean, there's no way you would not see a train coming. Unless you're stupid, in which case you need to get fucking killed. What region of the country do you live in? I'm here in Florida. About middle of the state, halfway up, halfway down, whatever. It's nice here. I like it. Like I said, unfortunately, we do get hurricanes on occasion, but the hurricanes themselves are usually not destructive, but the tornadoes are, and so far we've been lucky, At least God looks over us or something, but we have not got hit with any tornadoes, because if it does, it would probably destroy the house. But the hurricanes, like I said, Ian came through, the eye came right over, and we really didn't have any damage to the house at all. It cleaned a lot of the dead brush out of the trees. So the next morning there was a lot of brush on the ground, but no damage to anything. So it's like, hey, the hurricane saved me thousands of dollars having the trees, trimmed out. Dundas says he's coming north. Okay. Joe says, gotta go, Jim. Catch you next week. All right, Joe, thanks for popping in, and you have a good weekend too, and we'll see you next time, man. Good night. Russ says, I'm a Republican and I live in Democrat land. I can't afford to move. Dems took over my state about 40 years ago, unfortunately. Yeah, that sucks. But the good news is that the Democrats may be on their way out, If Trump can pull off what he says he's going to, and I believe he can, you will never see another Democrat in office again. Unless we're really completely fucking stupid, Because they're not doing anything for anybody. All right, Ken, thanks a lot, man. You too have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week, and you have a good night as well. And same with you, Frank. You have a good one too. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up at 8:30, so we got roughly about 20 minutes to kill. So if anybody wants to talk about anything, bring it up, man. I'll hash it out. So I'm not going to stand here too late tonight because I'm exhausted, man. All right, James. Thanks for popping in, man. I'll get your stuff together. I'll get an invoice out to you in the next few days, and we'll get that taken care of, man. Well, that's true, Russ. We do have a lot of stupid rhinos in D.C. I think the only thing I have a problem with is, Trump, he appointed that fucking idiot senator down here. What the hell's his name? I can't remember his name now. He's a Cuban guy. I can't remember his name. And he put him in there, and I think that was a mistake. Because he's a Trump hater. He's also a warmonger. And he's going to put him in charge of foreign affairs. I think that's a dumb move unless Trump's got some other plan that he's not letting us in on, but I got problems with that. Gerald says, I live in the most blue city in the Midwest. God help me. Gerald, I thought you lived in Texas. Or that's right, you're in what, Austin or one of them places? Or Houston? That's all blue down there, isn't it? I forgot about that. All right, James, no problem. Yeah, Marco Rubio or Marco Rhino. That's a more suitable name, Russ. Yeah, that guy, I got a problem with him, man. I just don't like him. I never did, and I don't trust him. And all right, Cowboy, have a good one, man. Take care of things out there. Be safe. We'll see you next week. Um, I don't, for the life of me, I don't know why Trump picked him, especially for foreign affairs. That's scary, because like I said, they said that Rubio's got a temper for one, and he doesn't know how to play nice with anybody, and that's really not the kind of person we need that could, get us into a war. Yeah, all right, Austin. I was pretty sure it was either Austin or Houston. I had to jog my memory a little bit, but yeah, like I said, it's maybe we'll get lucky and all these stupid Democrats will pick up their toys and leave. I guess a bunch of them really are leaving. Not enough, of course, but who the hell did I read today? It was Eva Longoria. Her and her family are going back to England, I think. She's done with America. I can't stand being in America anymore. Good fucking riddance, I mean, look, if you hate America, why are you here, So please, do us a favor, pick up your shit, and get the fuck out, and don't come back. And I tell you, I know we can't do it. At least I don't think we can. But it's a shame we can't renounce their, they renounce their citizenship and pull it permanently so that they can't come back, But you had your chance. You decided America sucked for you, and you thought someplace else was better. So you know what? You made your bed. Go sleep in it. And that's the way it should be, Because I'm hearing all these people, I'm seriously thinking about moving to another country. There was that one guy who says, I'm leaving the United States. I'm going to move to Hawaii. And I'm thinking, you idiot, Hawaii is part of the United States. Apparently he doesn't know that. I think we should give him bad directions and send him a little farther east, or west or whatever. Yeah, there you go. Austin equals San Francisco, same thing. That's bad. But, seriously, I mean, I'm so sick of hearing people whine and cry. And, I got a letter today. I'm going to probably do my Wise Guy video tomorrow. It's going to be based on that. This guy from somewhere in the United States. He said, I don't understand what the hell's wrong with you Republicans. Why would you vote for a pervert, sex offender, lying thief, piece of shit, and I'm thinking, if you leave anything out, and he's telling all these things that Trump did, and I'm going, well, first off, he didn't do any of those things, You can't call him a rapist because the woman who sued him for rape, it happened 30 years ago. She doesn't even know what fucking year it happened, And the only reason he lost is because the courts were trying to take him down. The whole thing was a setup, And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Yeah, well, believe it or not, they might. But, so what? Here we go. We got two choices. Okay? You can either kill your baby at will, or you can live in an economic boom town, or boom country, as it were, where you have freedom and rights and low cost, gas is cheaper, food is cheaper, housing is cheaper. Which do you want to have? Do you want to have that, or you just want to kill your fucking baby? And I'm so sick of that shit, too. You know what? We don't kill fucking people here. At least it's not legal to do it. You can't kill your neighbor because you don't like him anymore. So how could you be able to kill your baby because you don't want it anymore? What's the difference? And for these women, they go, my body, my choice. Well, it ain't your body anymore. Your body, you're sharing your body, or you're renting your womb out to another human being, to another person. And if you rent out a room in your house, you just can't throw that fucker out because you decide to one day. It's difficult because they have rights in your house. I don't always agree with that, but that's the way it works. So shouldn't the baby have rights inside the womb of the mother that's carrying it? You know, I said it's your body until you decide to impregnate yourself or get impregnated, however you want to look at it. But I mean, if they're basing their entire political attitude on that one thing, the right to kill your baby whenever you want, then we have bigger fucking problems than we know what to do with. You know? And it really is. It's the truth of it, because they're not looking at the big picture. So you can have the right to kill your baby whenever you want, but you're going to pay 5 times more for groceries, you know, twice as much for a car, 3 or 4 times more for a house. All your bills are going to go up through the roof. You're going to get more taxes thrown on you, but you can kill your baby. Now, that's my choice. I'm going to kill my baby, you know. What the fuck is wrong with these people? And I'm sorry, but I don't get it. You know? They're a bunch of fucking psychos, eh? Like these 4B women, you know, they're shaving their heads and then we're not going to have sex with any men for the next 4 years. Thank you, please. You know, you're doing us all a favor. First off, you're fucking ugly. And you probably get knocked up because you're stupid. And we don't really need either one of those things. So you're really doing us a big favor by shaving your heads and withholding sex. You know. It's one thing to fuck an ugly person. It's a whole other thing to fuck an ugly bald person. You know. Women, I should say, not person. Because men don't count in that. But, I mean, seriously, you know, am I wrong? I don't think I am. That's just the way I look at things. And well, you're right, Ross. I mean, why would anybody vote for a radical leftist? And then they really are. They really are emotional and stupid. I've seen some. Well, we've all seen them, I'm sure. Some of these TikTok videos, shorts. Yeah, they got that one black woman beating the roof on her car and jacking the wheel around and screaming, "Ah, you fuckers!" You know. I mean, you got to look at this for what it is. Okay, it's a mental health issue, and these people have some serious mental health deficiencies. You know. You can't tell me otherwise. I just don't believe it. Simple solution. Have the baby determined and give it up for adoption. There are many people. Oh, I've said that for years too, you know. But they don't want to do that. They want to be able to kill the baby because it's inconvenient, you know. Well, it wasn't inconvenient when they had their legs, you know, tucked behind their ears. And that's another thing. Look, now, I'm not a proponent of abortion of any sort, but worst case scenario, all right? You go out, you have your fling last night. The next morning, you take the morning after pill, which is an abortion, but I mean, there's really nothing going on at that point, I don't think. I mean, it's not right, but it's better to kill it at a day old than wait 6 months or 7 months, you know. What's the problem here? And of course, you can avoid that by getting an IUD, get on a damn pill, wear a female contraceptive, have your man, you know, boyfriend, husband, whatever, wear a condom or 2 if he needs it, and you're not going to get knocked up, you know. Well, you're going to have raw and protected sex. Well, yeah, there's a good probability you're going to get pregnant. And if you're that irresponsible, then I don't know what to tell you, you know. But that shouldn't be an excuse. And like I said, in Florida, it's 6 weeks here. I think DeSantis passed that law last year or something. So after 6 weeks, you can't abort the baby anymore unless there's a danger to the mother. And I have no problem with that. I mean, you know, if I had a wife, you know, my wife got pregnant. Of course, she can't anymore. But if I were younger, my wife got pregnant and the baby would take her life if she tried to bring it to term. I'd terminate that fucking baby. We can get kids. can't get another wife, you know. Is that wrong? Some might say yes, but to me, that's acceptable, you know. And I have a problem with the rape and incest because if they made it you can get an abortion based on rape, every woman that got pregnant would cry rape, and some innocent bastard would go to prison for it, and he didn't do it. So that ain't gonna work, you know. It's just, I don't know. It's fucked up, man. It really is. Gerald says, I'm not fucking anyone that's bald. I don't think I could either, man. That's just too fucking weird, you know. And that's, I mean, I know women that got cancer and they lost their hair, you know, but a lot of them wear a wig at least. But, you know, I mean, I couldn't imagine. No, that's just too fucking weird, you know. Russ goes, exactly, Tom. Well, and it's true, you know. And the thing is, there are people out there that are willing to pay crazy money for babies, you know, that they can get right after, you know, birth. Surrogates, you know. I think the average, it's probably more now, but years ago it was $10,000. You carry the kid for 9 months, you have the baby, we pay the whole thing. The adoptees, they pay the hospital bills, all the doctor bills, and they give you 10 grand. You know, you don't want that baby, here you go. You just made yourself 10 grand and it didn't cost you a thin dime. A little bit of inconvenience, but hey, that's the price you pay for being stupid, you know. That's what I'm saying. They don't even have to do it for free because there are couples out there that will pay you ridiculous money. And if it's a really, you know, quality kid, and I hate to say it that way, but if it is, you know, you get somebody they'll give you $50,000 for the kid. They don't care, you know, because either the wife can't have one or doesn't want to ruin her body, you know. It's all bullshit, but it just goes to show there's ways around it. Russ says abstaining, condoms, birth control, adoption, no need for abortion except to save the mother's life. Absolutely. I said I'm 100% behind you on that one, realistically, you know. That's why I said the fact that we're giving them 6 weeks or whatever is more than they probably deserve. And, you know, if you're using abortion as a form of birth control, that is just fucking wrong, and that should be illegal. Like I said, the only reason you should get it is to save the mother's life, you know. It doesn't matter if it's inconvenient for you. You know. My ex-girlfriend, I got her pregnant, you know. And it was both our fault. She knew she was fertile. And she said, you know, we really shouldn't be doing this. You're going to get me pregnant. And I didn't really believe her. And, of course, she was willing. You know, it's like I didn't force myself on her or anything. But, you know, well, damn it, she didn't get pregnant. 2 days later, she goes, I'm pregnant. How do you know? She said, I know, trust me. So I got her a pregnancy test. Boom, yeah, it was positive. Well, I'll be damned. 2 days she knew. So she couldn't have another baby because she had 2 daughters. She almost died with the second daughter, and they told her you can't have any more kids. I don't know why they didn't get her fixed, but so we had no choice. We had to get. I paid for the abortion, and to this day she still has an issue with it. You know, she feels like she killed, you know, a life, which she did, but in a way though she had no choice because it would have been her life if she tried to carry it. So as much as it sucked, it was something we had to do, and it would have been a boy, you know, it was my son. It is what it is, but you know, like I said, I just, to me, it boggles my mind that that's the political hot potato, that's the difference between voting for a moron or voting for your savior. You know, I just don't get it. It's like, well, wait a minute here. You know, we know what Trump is because he did it before. He did a lot of great things for this country. As much as they fought him, he still fixed a lot of shit. You know, we had 4 years of Biden and Harris. She didn't do jack shit. She was supposed to be the border czar. Well, that didn't work out too well. And he was an idiot. And now we're in the shit we're in. You can't blame the reasonable people figure, hey, you know what? We could do 4 more years of this horse shit with Harris, or we go back to Trump. You know, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it? But yet, and I don't really believe she got as many votes as she claims. I still think they're rigging the elections to some degree. Now, we prevented a lot of it. Had we not been prepared, she would have won. You know, because they tried to cheat Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona, but we caught them. But they still, Arizona is really still the problem. They're still counting votes over there, I think. Maybe they finished finally, but, you know, when Carrie Lake lost, that was rigged. Because how could Trump win that state, but Carrie Lake loses it and a Democrat wins? Makes no sense. All right, guys. Well, it's 8:30 anyway, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks, Gerald. Have a good one, man, and we'll see you next time. And everybody that hung out with me tonight, thank you much. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next week, and maybe we'll have some more train talk for you. We did pretty good this time, mostly trains. So I'm going to put the outro on, and don't forget to flip off the signal guy. He's still there. I may have to get rid of him at some point. But anyway, have fun with it, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.